Hi, this is Aaron with iBoard Repair and iPhone Data Recovery, and today I'm going to be working on an iPhone 12 Pro that's in here for data recovery. The 12 Pro is going to be a difficult phone to work on because we don't have any schematics and we don't have good board view software for it. The board view software we do have is very blank. It doesn't have any information about the actual lines themselves. So when it comes to the iPhone 12, I don't know what line does what for the most part. I can only make guesses and assumptions based on previous experiences. The only thing I've done to this phone so far, I've done two things. One thing was plugging it into my USB ammeter and seeing what it was doing there. And let me double check that one more time. And what that is showing me is it's fluctuating from 0.05 to 0, 0.02 to 0. So it's not taking a charge from the charge port. That can be potentially some type of short on the motherboard. But because I don't know very much about the iPhone 12 yet, I'm just really flying blind here. So the other thing I did was just pull the screen up so I can get a glance at the motherboard. And looking at the motherboard, just looking at the phone in general, it looks very clean. Doesn't look like there's any water damage. There's no obvious physical signs of damage anywhere. I already also tried to connect this to the PC, and it doesn't connect to the PC in either recovery mode or DFU mode. So I'm going to take this motherboard out, and we're going to see if we can figure out what's going on with it. This one may be a tough one. Okay, so I didn't take the motherboard all the way out. I just took the shields off so we can see what it's doing on the DC power supply when I connect my DC power to the battery connector. So let's do that. Yeah. So this side is the line, this side is ground. Okay, so I'm getting an amp draw before I prompt the phone to boot. So that means, that's a good sign. That means that I have a mainline short somewhere on this board. So it's either going to be like VDD main, VDD boost. It could possibly be the speaker amp lines. It could be some new lines I don't know about on the iPhone 12. But seeing that amp draw before prompt to boot is really good. I think this is going to be not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be now. There's just some short on this board. I just need to find the short, and that's something I do every day, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the board all the way out now, and we'll start seeing if we can find the line that's short and then the component on that line that's causing the problem. So one more moment. Okay, so I almost have this board out, but I figured I'd show you how difficult it is to get this board out. I've opened these before, but not very many. And it sucks. They're really, really hard to get out. So after you get all the screws out, you can't pull the board out because it's still connected to this flex cable right here, which is connected to the side of the housing over here. And you can't unscrew those because the battery's in the way. So you have to take out the battery in order to take out the motherboard, and it's just a real hassle. So the way to take out the battery is we're going to try to pull these tabs without breaking them. So I will be right back after doing that. I don't want to make the video too long, so we'll just skip past that part for you guys. Okay, so that was inconvenient, but the motherboard is now out. And we can finally start diagnosing this thing and seeing what's going on with it. This is the antenna that was connected, that you had to move the battery out of the way to get to the screws. It's soldered in the back of this board, which is weird. It's a 5G antenna. So first things first, let me just make sure that the line is actually still short and that it wasn't like just one of those FPC connections that was somehow causing it. And no, the line's still short. So I have not split an iPhone 12 yet, and it's always scary to do it for the first time. I don't know what I'm expecting. I do know that there's some VCC main under here, but I don't know. Is this open? That'd be great. There might be an opening in here. If there is, I won't have to lift this because it doesn't look like this will be easy to lift. So let's take a look at that. So there are some openings, which is probably what I'm going to use to pull this off, because I don't know how hard this is to pull off, and there's no openings there, and I don't really just want to try to pop it off like with heat, because it could be very delicate. So I'm going to try my best to cut it away instead. Let's see if we can measure that cap, if that looks like it might be on VCC main, or VDD main I should say. I don't really have a great indication of what is what, but I'll show you how I kind of determined what might be VDD main. So I just looked at the battery FPC here, and this would be like bat VCC or something. I'm not sure. It looked like this goes through a filter here, and there's probably another filter here. So I don't know what that line does, but I noticed down here there's another line. First I click this, and that seems like it's the wrong way. So it must be going this way, clicking on that one, and that just looks like VDD main to me. A lot of the times the main line is in between the two CPU power rails, which is kind of the pattern I'm seeing here. So that's really the only way I can guess which is my main line. So this being my main line, there's a lot, I mean there's not a lot under here. There's a few sections under here that might be causing the problem, but there's a lot on the back side of the board here, as you can see. It looks like this is the top board and this is the bottom board. The top board, it looks like almost for sure I'm gonna have to split this thing, unless I'm very, very lucky and it's like this cap or this cap or this cap or one of these ones or this one. So I'll check that first, because cutting away the shield is going to be a lot easier than splitting this board. This board, from what I've heard, and I poked around one a little bit one time, it was very, very, very difficult to split. At that time I didn't have a designated iPhone 12 board heater yet, so I was using not the best methods, but it still seemed very, very difficult. This shield is going to be easier than splitting the board. So I'm going to pull the shield first, or I'm going to pull as much as I can. I'm going to have to hope I'm going to have to be very careful and make sure that I don't break anything underneath it. Okay, this shield is kind of soft, which is really, really nice, because I'm going to be able to just pull this away, I think. Obviously you have to be very, very careful to not hit the PMIC that's directly underneath it. And I'm very happy to find the shield to be soft. I didn't expect that really. I have too much on my desk here. Move some stuff out of the way. I'm great at this work, but I am not great at organization. And it may be a trait of a lot of micro solderers to be very good at this work, very sharp mind, but organization skills are lacking. I've noticed a few other people like that as well. But that's not the case for everybody, of course. I've seen some very extremely organized people as well that just blow me away with like I don't know how to stay that clean. Okay, so let me see again where my lines are. I'm so sorry for keeping this display on top of everything while I was working. That's unfortunate. I was pulling away the shield. Right, I need to get to the corners of this. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet, unless this piece can just break away. There we go. That's going to help me pull everything up, I think. Yes. Broke a little bit of ground plane there, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. I'll try to wiggle it a little more to not break more of it. Okay, you can see in that corner I popped off a cap, it looks like, so I got to make sure that's not like an important filter. Again, I don't know what things are. Oh no, it looks like it's a VDD main cap, so that's fine. And it looks like there's some little EEPROM right there, so I got to make sure not to hit that because I don't know what that is. Brought up a little bit more ground plane, so it's not the best to destroy the board like that, but as long as that's just ground, it doesn't really matter. Let's see if I can get a ground measurement out of that. That'd be nice. Yeah, so I'm touching the top shield here, I'm touching the little copper right there, and it's just ground. And of course that's the case because it's like the base of the frame there. Should probably be very careful on this side. I'm not sure what's under here. Okay, shield's off. Good. Now if I can find the VDD main short, well, first I gotta verify it is a VDD main short, so let me check my multimeter on one of these caps. So the first one in the front corner, right over here, this is a VDD main, what I'm assuming is VDD main at least, so let's see if it's short. And yes, that is short. So if VDD main short, if the cap is short in this front area, I will be so very happy because that means I won't have to split the board. But if it's not here, I'm going to have to split the board and that's going to suck. That cap was also just a VDD main cap. It's okay to take off. I don't really need that there, but let's just make sure that wasn't the actual cause, like being short somehow. Okay, it was not. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to inject voltage into here. And this must be VDD main. There's no way I can imagine that this is not VDD main. Unless it was, no, this pattern here must be VDD main. I'm worried that it's PP1V8, but I don't think it is. But just in case, I'll set my voltage to 1.8. It's just a safer voltage to work with. Hopefully it will still provide me the heat I need in order to see the component that's causing the problem. It's just that if we inject 4 volts into a 1.8 line, I'm gonna fry the CPU. So because I can't, like, I can only go off of what I believe, and I don't have like hard schematics, hard facts in front of me, I should probably just be careful. So I'll inject, what side's the line on? I'll inject 1.8 into right here, and let's see if we can find anything heating up or not. 1.8 should give me plenty of heat. Actually, I think it's not going to be a problem whatsoever because I just touched the probes together and it brings the voltage down even further than 1.8. I should be fine with that. So let's just really hope that something under this shield is causing the problem. Here's the line, here's ground, there's my heat showing on the DC power supply. And am I going to get enough heat to show up? Let me zoom out a little bit, but oh my gosh, there it is. Yes, that is absolutely beautiful to see. Now I do not have to split this board because this cap is the problem. Yep, that is VDD main. I see it right there. Inject into here. Just so you can see that signal one more time, I'll do it one more time. Oh, that is just wonderful. I'm so happy to see that. So keep an eye on that same cap that showed up earlier, and you can see it starting to melt already, and there it goes. That is my culprit. That is the cap that went bad. It seems to have been a spontaneous short. Like, she said it died in her hand. So nothing caused that cap to become short. She didn't do anything. It's just a flaw. Apple's not perfect. They make things that break sometimes. Usually it takes longer to break than sooner. But that's not the case this time. This one broke early. So I'm just going to pop this cap off. Oh, it's on there pretty tight. There it goes. Okay, now my line should no longer be short. So I'll verify that on my multimeter. And it is no longer short. So now this phone should boot, and that is great. We're going to be able to pull data from it. So I'm going to put this one back into its own housing. I'll just put a battery into it. I just think that will be the easiest way. So I'll pause the video while I do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the board in the housing. I'm just going to try the original. The original screen should be fine. I'm actually going to try the original battery as well. sometimes there's like a protection circuit. Well, there is a protection circuit in the battery, and sometimes that's triggered on a VCC main short. And once that's cleared, the battery still works. And typically, if it still works, it's usually still charged. So let's see if that's the case. And yeah, it looks like it's booting. So that's great. Let me double check the password on this guy. 714714. Oh, it's on. It's just so dim. Why is it so dim? 714714. Oh, I know why. It's because I don't have the proximity sensor or the ambient light sensor plugged in. Interesting. Even when I turn up brightness, this is not getting any brighter. But that doesn't matter. We're in. To show you that we're in, I can connect this computer. See if I can trust. And there we go, we're in. There's the phone, iPhone 12 Pro. So that was it. So again, I'll power this down because I don't actually have a computer free at the moment to take the data. They're already processing other data jobs. But this one is now done. It's just so dim. I don't like seeing how it's so dim. I have no idea what caused that, but it really doesn't matter. Again, maybe it's just, I'll try plugging in the light sensor next time and seeing if that's what's causing it. But yeah, this one was great. This is an iPhone 12 Pro, so I really didn't know what I was going to be getting into at all on this one. There's so much just information that's unknown about these phones yet. Most of the information, I believe, just comes out of China. Once they release it, then the rest of the world gets it. There's basic information out there, so I was able to kind of see just through pattern recognition which line was which, but there was no like names on those lines, so I was really just going off intuition more than anything. I'm so happy that the short was on the top side of the board and that I did not have to split this board, because that would have been terrible. I guess that's going to be a future video when I do have to split that. I guess that will still make for a good video. So at the very least, that will be positive in that end. But yeah, thanks for watching. You know, this one wasn't too bad. I'm glad it wasn't too bad. Hopefully, like if we see signature problems with this, most of them show up on the top side of the board. But either way, thanks for stopping by. I hope you stop by again, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.